Yo, welcome. Today's a fire day because we are getting super down, making heavy bass with presets, Vital presets. Vital's free. There's new packs available by Avant, and I want to show you guys what's going down. This is a new song I made, and I want to show you guys first, and we'll get down with all the nitty gritty. Hey, now that is what I made. I whipped up real quick, and this full project will be on my Patreon so that you guys can have all these sounds, and actually learn from how I arranged everything. Lots of call and response, lots of heaviness, but most importantly, we made this just using presets in Vital. Avant came out with a brand new Vital dubstep sample pack, which is sick, and we're going to be using that to make our own sounds and make our own drop. And then I also threw in a couple different sounds from their other packs too. Everything will be in the description. You guys can get down and dirty. We have multiple sounds here in the drop, but the most important sound and the first sound that I made was this melodic sound. When I opened this project up, it was definitely nothing, and I just had an idea when I got this preset. But the intro also uses a lot of Avant samples, and I brought in a metal guitar riff as well. Made some keys, so like these keys, for example, these are in the pack. That's a flute I did in Omnisphere. Lots of build-up snares and stuff to build it all up. And then the Avant vocal sample up here. This from the techno pack. Just going the whole time into the big drop. Sick. All right, cool. First thing I came up with is this. We're going to turn off all the post-processing real quick. Cool. So this is the original. This is the Avant Vital Dubstep Extra 9 preset. Now, when I'm using these, what I'll often do is I'll be looking at the LFO that has the most movement. So all these circles indicates that there's a lot of knobs actually being modulated by this LFO. We can click on this, and now we can mess with the tempo here and change the speed. So when you're on regular tempo, it'll be regular speed. Tempo dotted is a different rhythm. Tempo triplets are different rhythms. So just keep that in mind. Usually you're going to be on regular tempo. And then this is the speed. So this is half rate, for example. You can move it to a quarter, which is faster, an eighth, which is even faster, and a 16th, which is even, like, it's really fast. You can mess with different speeds and find a speed that you like of the preset so that you can make your own like sound. You're always trying to think of shaping the sound when laying down these sounds. Cool. So this patch was probably as is, and I liked the way it sounded right away. Since this was the first one I found, I was like, okay, I just want to figure out something. And I knew that I wanted some like melodics in the drop. I didn't want it to just be basses. So with this, you look at the piano roll. We are starting on the root note, which is D. And we're going up the scale. And then we go back to D, and then we just repeat the D note. And then while this is repeating, then that's when we allow the basses to play. So my call is like that fast section, and then the response would be that section. And with the drums too, if you see here, as soon as the drop starts, it's just a kick, no snares. And we'd like bring the drums in later after the 2 bars. The sub we have is just going to be regular Ds. And I make sure to put a little space in between it. So these are like quarter note sub notes on every quarter note. And then we make sure that there's a little space in between so that it has a nice little rhythm in between each note. Cool. So after I found that sound, I was like, okay, that sounds cool, but now we need to make it loud. So let's go ahead and add the Ray Volpe Special, Reduce Ambience OTT Camel Crusher on British Clean. Bring out some gain, making it louder. Then we use the EQ to clean it up. Take out some of these muddy frequencies. Cut these lows. After we clean up that signal some, we can add some reverb, convolution, short decay, made for drums, large gated snare, dry wets at 29%. Putting it in its own little space, then we make it even louder. We add some clean gain with multiband dynamics at 34%, dry and wet, 363 time. Now, I was like, okay, I like that melodic sound. I like all that. That's cool. That's what I want to roll with. So then I was thinking, okay, now that I have the main sound that I know that's going to be in the background, I want to go ahead and make a sound that'll be like on the chug, every offbeat, basically. So with this sound, this is a cool sound. I'll show you how. So this is the Avant Vital Dubstep Bass 106, a cool little chug, like a nice robotic chug. I really like this one. So naturally, I put this in here and put it on the offbeat. So it goes beat, 33 is downbeat, 33.2 offbeat. So this is kind of like giving us a cool little rhythm to dance to. I make it go fast at first, and then I slow it down. And I'll just go from going fast to slowing it down. That's how I use this bass. Right away, we go ahead and add a Haas effect to make it wide. We do parallel processing, so we have 2 of these chains. We have a dry signal that's giving just a regular signal, and then we add another signal that's wide at 100% at -7 decibels as well. So kind of filling out the stereo image here. We have automation on this filter. Basically, the first one is filtered out, and then the rest of them open up. This EQ8 is going to be cutting some of the highs here. Now, when I was listening to this in the full mix, I was like, there's too much of a tail. Do you hear that? Like a tail at the end. I was like, I don't like that tail. So we use Duck Buddy. This is an LFO shaper, basically, and we use it to cut off the tail. Much cleaner, controlling our sound, controlling our dynamics, making sure that we get it right. That's our chug. So after hearing this, I knew we have to have like a main bass lead. So basically we're going to add that now. Main bass lead is this one. All right, nice. This bass lead is doing a lot of heavy lifting. It's a hefty boy, and I love the way it sounds. The way it sounds soloed is kind of crazy. The way it sounds soloed is kind of crazy. Sounds like it's too much, needs EQ, but really in the full mix, it starts to balance out with everything else. So that's awesome. So this, once again, a preset from the Avant pack. Such fire, such heat. Avant Vital Dubstep Bass 107. With this one, I for sure messed with the LFO. Right here, changed the tempo. You know, we put it on half, put it on regular tempo. Definitely making sure the rate is doing what we want it to do, making it move how we want it to. Full control. So make sure you mess with that. You also have these two your voicings if you need to change anything down here. We have the sound. Listen to what it sounds like. Super dry, right? But this is what I wanted. I just wanted like a loud attack, and then it's like slowly going down. It's kind of like a hit. Plus, I thought this was perfect. The tone, I didn't like the tone. I knew I needed to distort it. So I went ahead and add the Dripment loud rack, OTT, saturator, OTT, saturate again, EQ, glue, util, J's to clip at the end, hard clipper, giving it a little bit of boost right here. I'm clipping it at 0. That is the loud rack. We put that boy on before, after. Cool. So we made it loud, but it's still like the same tone and stuff. So now we can distort it. We use this amp in dual mode on blues, 100%. Just insane amount of distortion, but this amp is overpowered. I love it. I use it all the time. And if you heard, like, legit, when we just put that amp on, it sounded way too distorted. Like, it kind of sounds like ass. But in the full mix, it's really being carried by that sub underneath it. And keep in mind, these basses are in a mid-bass group. This mid-bass group is also being low cut right here at 74 hertz. And then they're all being sent like via busing. So in the busing in the mid section, we also have another EQ that's cutting the lows at 80 hertz. So that's what's cleaning it up, making sure that it has all the frequencies opened up for the sub to live underneath. The sub is taking up a lot of the space. Pretty simple. Next phrase, we add another. So in phrase B, I want to add more sounds, make it unique. So I added a signature Dripment sustain bass. This one's already in my Patreon. It's already there. You can cop that if you need. This is the Dripment sustain bass 1. But we added another Vital support bass. This is a nice little quarter note chug, you know. This is Vital Dubstep Bass 116. I'm pretty sure I messed with this fin. You know, I shaped it to do what I want it to do. Right here. And then all we did was add an amp. So before, after. Amps in bass mode, mono, 55%. This is the master as well. I'll show you the loudness and the width. You can see we're keeping a lot of mono signal. It's very wide as well. I'm pulling in about -4 LUFS. It peaks at like -3.9 sometimes, which is just perfect, very loud, clean gain. I can turn it up as loud as I want to. And then this hard clipper, of course, is clipping it at 0. That's at the end of the signal chain. And the only thing we have on the master is this multi-band dynamics preset, more high end. And you can copy these presets, these settings here, 28%, 12 decibels. And that's really pumping it up and giving some nice compression throughout the whole track. They're fairly simple. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys can do this. You're putting together sounds. You're making sure that you're imagining the shape of the sound first. You know, you want to make sure that you're not just throwing random presets in. Think of call and response. There has to be movement going back and forth. Melodic elements in the background help a lot. And it's bass music, so make sure that your sub is loud, powerful, and fat, and is controlling the most of the mix. You know, you want to balance that sub with your main bass lead and make them sit in harmony. But just remember, if you guys need this full project, to look into it right away, it's in my Patreon. If you guys want to cop this Vital Avant pack, it's amazing. It's dope. There's so many sounds in the description. I hope you guys enjoy this. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Keep it real, keep it fresh all day. Later. Peace.